Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. Now, in this one, I wanted to talk about opportunity vehicles as I understand them. Now, what is an opportunity vehicle, you may ask? An opportunity vehicle is any activity, job, or otherwise that allows you to make tangible progress towards your goals, be it financial, skill, etc. And I've moved around on this scale quite a bit, I would say. And I have been since I turned 18, the very broad umbrella opportunity vehicle that I've been in is sales. Because I saw that at the very highest levels of the sales world, people were living with the type of means that I wanted to live with. They had millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they did it by becoming very, very good at the skill of sales, and then adding other ones on top of it, like marketing, copywriting, public speaking, and they combined all of these together to create some kind of company, usually, which they then are able to offer a product for, which then allows them to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. Great examples of that would be Grant Cardone, Dan Lok, Jordan Belfort, what's his face? Basically, you get the idea. There are people who are doing very well doing that. And so, I have been under the sales umbrella since I was 18 because I stumbled into it. I started working at a Costco selling DirecTV TV service. And I was applying to a bunch of jobs. I had recently become homeless. I was living out of my aunt and uncle's house, which they were so generous and kind for allowing me to stay there for the time that I did. And I stumbled into this job. And so, after I realized what sales could be, I said, you know what? I can't do college, or rather, I didn't want to do college, and I didn't want to do any trades, and I didn't see any other tangible path that I could walk that would lead me to where I wanted to go. So I decided to double, triple, quadruple down on sales. And so I started working my way towards getting better at the skill of sales. This led me to being recruited for a better TV job, and with that job, I started traveling around my state doing trade shows, county fairs, etc., and really started to hone that skill in, because now I was seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of people every weekend that were opportunities for me to practice. So I started getting better and better at this thing. So I went from an hourly or commission job, whichever ended up being higher, working out of a Costco. So I'm seeing, 3,000 to 5,000 people a day, give or take. And those are all opportunities to pitch. And I went from that to fairs and trade shows. So then I probably realistically went from 3,000 to 5,000 people a day to 10 to 20,000 people in a weekend. So I'm seeing more people, but I'm also seeing more people in an environment where they're more likely to talk to me, and where it's going to be easier for me to do what I'm trying to do, and where I can also be more comfortable. So moved on to a slightly better opportunity. And then from there, I went remote selling life insurance because, long story short, the pandemic hit and I needed to find something that I could still earn money doing while working from home. So I didn't like that very much. It felt scummy. But technically speaking, that was a better opportunity vehicle in the sense that it was remote. I could work from home. I could set my hours to a certain extent. And then basically each job that I have had, I have tried to increase my opportunity in some sense or another. After that, I went and started selling phones. And with the phone sales, I kind of got lazy because compared to the life insurance and compared to the TV sales, the phone sales was the easiest thing that I had done so far. And I had people coming into the store to buy things from me. And it was a busy store. So what was me hunting and only eating what I killed became a hourly wage that I could comfortably survive on. I shouldn't say comfortably, an hourly wage that I could survive on. But then a commission that was continually getting bigger and bigger because I was just getting smoother and smoother, but I was not necessarily improving my actual sales skill. It was just an easy sell, is what it really came down to. And I did not see that at first. I didn't think I was working hard. I knew that I wasn't. But by taking a step back and an opportunity in the sense of skill, in the sense of I went from doing something relatively difficult with relatively little upside to something not difficult at all with a much higher upside, most people would see that as an absolute win. The problem, though, is I stopped growing in my skill, which is ultimately what was going to get me where I wanted to go. Because no matter how good I did in that company, it still was not what I wanted to do. I could have gotten 5-10 levels up in the company, and I did get promoted to running my own store. And ultimately, I could have given it 10-20 years, and I still wouldn't have been where I wanted to be. So I lost sight of the big goal in exchange for the fast and easy win. And then when I realized that, I started bouncing around again. And it was only when I came across the role that I'm in right now that I found something that I felt like was really tangibly able to get me to the next level of where I want to go. Because in between then and now, I tried my hand at starting a company, and for lack of a better explanation, I failed pretty hard. I was able to get clients, but I couldn't deliver for them, which is like literally the most important half of a company, arguably. And so, with the role that I'm in now, it is directly building the skills that I want and need to build in order to move forward. What I am doing every day is more difficult, arguably, than a lot of the other roles that I've been in, if not all of them, but also has 10 or 100 times the level of upside when it comes to commission. And not only that, you have to look at the potential market size for whatever it is that you're doing. Because for the phone sales, my first store, we had a lot of people coming in the store, but it was limited by the hours in the day that I was there. So even with me taking one day off every 2-ish weeks, oh, bless me, thank me. Even with me only taking one day off every 2-ish weeks, physically there was only so many people that I could see in one day. Even when I was working with 1, 2, 3 different groups at a time, selling to all of them. With what I'm doing now, the difficult part, the part that actually takes the most time and effort, is the waiting. The actual job itself is relatively quick. It takes me at most a couple hours to walk around and get a quote, and then at most a couple hours between the presentation and follow-up. So it's like if I'm spending, let's just be extremely generous, and let's say I'm spending one full shift with every prospect. That one full shift worth of time spread over the course of weeks or months with that prospect, theoretically, once things start really going through, that one full shift is worth 2 to 3 months of income for anywhere else that I've ever been. So then it's like, if I can stack day after day, full shift, it's like as soon as the snowball starts to really get built, not only will it be, months and months and months of living expenses that I can then just pay off all at once and then continue with that, and it'll quite literally just keep compounding upon itself and exponentially growing. So not only that, but when I'm talking about the size of the market, the potential customers, I am in an area of the country that is so full of opportunity. I live outside of a major city, and the restaurant that I work at is in the city. So when I'm driving at night after a closing shift, I am looking around at these skyscrapers and these buildings, and this is not an exaggeration. At least half of them, if not 2/3 of those places, are potential customers. There's not an exaggeration. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars in potential commissions within a 15-minute drive of my house. And if I continue beyond that, the entire area of the country that I'm in, I am basically the only rep. And what that means is there is a very large pie for somebody who is able to seize it. And as soon as I start to make a name for myself, as soon as I start to really do right by some of these customers and things are starting to close, the referrals are also going to compound. Because again, this is a problem that half, if not 2/3 of the buildings out here have not solved yet. And if I can be the solution, the sky's the limit. And so that is a extremely massive opportunity that I am now in, after spending basically 6 years bouncing around between what most people at the level I'm at right now would consider to be shit opportunities. But I needed to walk in order to be able to run. And before I could walk, I needed to learn how to crawl. And so, wow, that's beautiful. I'm just looking at these clouds. So, even beyond this opportunity, I have a plan for how I'm going to use this opportunity once I have, to a certain extent, maximized it. Now, there's a big difference between maximizing it and maxing it out. I honestly could do what I'm doing right now in the area that I'm in for the rest of my life and be comfortable. But I already have plans in place for how I can use this opportunity as a stepping stone into the next one that I really want to do. So what I'm doing, again, I've continually moved forward and onto bigger and better opportunities. And the problem with that is most of the time it feels like you're not making progress. And eventually what happens is you just get worn down, whether it's by loved ones or others or life in general. You just get worn down, and you start to settle, and you say, you know what, I'm okay with this amount of money, I'm okay with this job, I'm okay with my coworkers. I don't really like it too much, but I'm surviving. I can save this little paltry amount, and if I continue on this path for 10, 20, 40 years, then I'll be in this role, which I'm also not excited about, but at least then I don't have to work as hard. And that is a mistake that I think that most of us fall into. When it's like, if you are okay with just sucking at whatever it is that you're trying to do for 5 to 10 years, just sucking, just not feeling like you're making any progress, but showing up every day with the end goal in mind and steering yourself towards that unapologetically, you can get anywhere that you want to go in life. And I do mean that. And part of the reason that it's taken me as long as it has to get here is because I've been lazy about it. I've been floating. And it wasn't until recently that I started to really swim. And so I'm excited to keep this channel updated so you can see the difference and the growth. But just know, life is what you make it, and whatever you demand of life, life will willingly give you. You just have to be willing to pay the price for it. So anyway, I think that's what I got for this one. Catch you on the flip side.